What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to Ray's Reviews. I'm your host, Joshua, and I will be reviewing episode 5 of Stargirl Season 3 entitled The Thief. The episode has not started yet, but I wanted to do the intro just to get out of the way. I thought that it was going to air. I thought that a new episode was going to air last week, but it didn't, so I just made an intro for no reason that last week. But a new episode is 100% coming out tonight, and I'm ready for it. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right. So this segment of the episode just ended. We see a flashback from 5 days ago after the gambler was killed. It really is making me think. It's really showing that Cindy killed the gambler with her knife power thing, and I wanted to believe that Cindy was trying to actually telling the truth, but it's really looking like she killed him. But it shows her taking the gambler's computer, and she was the one who actually fired the bullet that alerted the others, the JSA. But it was by accident because of her abilities going kind of haywire, because of her transformation going haywire. At the end of the last episode, we learned that Cindy is slowly turning into a dragon, pretty much a lizard dragon. Excuse me. And she's trying to find herself a cure by trying to find her father's what the hell? By trying to find her father's labs. So Cindy. But so then the episode continues with Courtney and Cameron. They both end up back at Courtney's place. Courtney says that she's gonna try to do some research on Cameron's powers. Cameron asks her why, or how. She said the Wikipedia, but in reality, she's gonna go through the JSA files about Icicle, who is Cameron's father, or who was Cameron's father. And I really hope that at the end of the season, Cameron finds out and he doesn't go berserk on Courtney. I really hope that he does turn a good new leaf. And I hope that he does become a member of the JSA at the end. And then we see Cindy crack the code for crack the password to get into the gambler's computer, and she finds out the locations of her father's labs, and then we see Sylvester, Our Man, and Wildcat all get to the ISA meeting room, and Sylvester kind of loses it when he sees the photo of the ISA and says that they are mocking him. Even when they're dead, they're mocking him. And Sylvester's going crazy. He's losing it. I'm sorry. There's a part of me that wants to believe that Sylvester is actually back and being really good, but I once again, I feel like I'm a broken record. I know I've said this in the past 2 or 3 videos, but something about Sylvester is not right. Something about him is sus, and I don't know. If you guys think that he's sus, comment down below what you think is up with him. Alright, so in this next segment of the episode, we see Sylvester talking to Barbara about how he kind of lost control of himself and kind of got very angry, and Barbara explains to him about how she was nervous about being there in Mike's life now that she and Pat got together, and now she's grateful that she's in Mike's life, and Mike's grateful that she's in his life. And then we see Mike and Sylvester have a talk where Sylvester pretty much tells Mike that it's better off, him and Jakeem, they need to do something that could get them noticed by the other JSM members, because in Sylvester's mind, Mike accidentally killing Icicle was in a way justice, and the way that both Jakeem and Mike fought against Eclipso, that was pretty heroic, and it's going to take more time, but eventually everyone will see them as heroes. And then the segment of the episode ends with Mike and Jakeem trying to use the Thunderbolt to get their bullies to be nicer to them, but they pretty much end with having the bullies axe them in a nicely way to give them their money, or else they're going to punch them in the face. Again, with the rules of the Thunderbolt, you really need to be very, very specific. So I feel like they should have said that, they should have said something like, "I wish these bullies would leave us alone," and then maybe that would have worked. But I don't know. But right when they were about to assault Mike and Jakeem, Cindy came in and pretty much whooped their asses, and then when she walked away, it gave Mike an idea, and that's where the segment ended. All right, so in this segment of the episode, we see Starman. We see Starman go to one of the Dragon King's labs, and contacts Beth, who's in the middle of taking a test, and she has to put on the Dr. Midnight goggles to help him crack the code to one of the things, to one of the to the door to get in, and the goggles literally start giving her the answers to her test, and she literally just like feels guilty for doing that, which I honestly can't blame her, but it's honestly kind of funny. Then after that we see Pat and Barbara on like a little lunch date, and like Pat's trying to figure out why Courtney's acting a little bit different, and Barbara kind of tells him straight and say that Courtney has a crush on someone, and she's not entirely wrong. She does have a crush, and she's kind of with someone, but they're not realizing that it's Eskel's son, which honestly I don't know how badly that could end. And then after that, then right before that part ends, we see Crusher and Paula interrupt their date, and Crusher and Paula pretty much tell Pat and Barbara that they were like investigating other people that the gambler was like blackmailing, and they all told them the same thing, that just like them, the gambler gave them back, like paid them all back in debt. And that made Paula and Crusher believe that the gambler was trying to become better, was trying to become good, which in a way does like solidify the fact that the gambler was trying to be good and was trying to change. I really still don't fully believe that Cindy killed the gambler, but after seeing that first part of this episode, it's very likely that she did, but there's always another side of the story. And then the segment of the episode ended with Cindy and Courtney talking about Cameron, and Cindy pretty much tells Courtney that she cannot tell Cameron about his father. All right, so in this segment of the episode, we pretty much we see excuse me, we see Courtney and the team. Well, mainly we see the JSA talking about what their next move could be with Dragon King, on the fact that Sylvester did not find anything in that lab he went to go see. And Courtney is distracted trying to figure out how to help Cameron, and pretty much Rick, Yolanda, and Beth, they all kind of call her out on hanging out with Cameron, and like being around with Cameron and stuff. And honestly, Yolanda, like, I understand that she doesn't trust Cindy, but Cameron never did anything to her. She never did anything. But again, I can understand his father was Icicle. He tried to kill them, and it's like I honestly feel sorry for Courtney, because she's stuck in a place where she likes a guy whose father tried to kill her, and it's like I don't know. It's just I really feel bad for Cameron himself, because he lost his mom and he lost his dad, but like he's trying to figure out these new powers of his, and like it's getting harder for him to do all this. And the segment of the episode ends with Cindy pretty much like making him almost lose control and use his powers, but he regains control and pretty much just feels so alone. And like, I honestly love Cameron. Cameron's one of my favorite characters in the whole show. I'm really glad that we're getting more insight on him, because season 2 we really didn't get much of him, and season 1 we were just seeing him and Courtney's story kind of grow. Season 2 we didn't really see much of him, but this season we're getting a lot of him, which I'm really happy about. But it's like I really want Cameron to have at least like one good episode, like one time where like he's fully happy, not for like a good few seconds. All right, so in this segment of the episode, we see it starts off with Sylvester talking to Rick, Yolanda, and Beth about how they were kind of ganging up on Courtney about her hanging out with Cameron, and Sylvester pretty much tells them to not make the same mistake the old JSA did when it came to Bruce Gordon, who was the host for Eclipso, and he pretty much tells them to kind of be there for Courtney, even when she's with a possible enemy. And Beth, she's and Beth, she gets a call from her parents who are pretty much just begging her to let them help. And Sylvester pretty much just tells her to protect them because of his sister Amy Pemberton, who was Henry Jr.'s mother, aka Brainwave's wife, who killed her. And I somewhat forgot about that, but I didn't forget it at the same time, if that makes sense. But just seeing Yolanda talk about Henry is kind of really sad. And this is something I really wish that they would have done in season one. I wish they would have brought him back. I wish they would have kind of like faked his death in a way to have him like actually be mimicking as one of like the footmen of dragging, and then like have like a final battle between his father. But that unfortunately didn't happen. But I really wish that that did. But yeah, so then we cut to Courtney and Cindy. They're talking at the diner, and Cindy pretty much tells Courtney to cut bait with Cameron because Cindy tried to push the buttons of Cameron to see if he had his family's powers, and she found out that he did, but she figured out that Courtney already knew, and Courtney says she's going to do whatever she can to help Cameron, and Cindy is just telling her, don't do it. Don't do it and cut bait because she knows how the story will end, and it will not end well. Excuse me. And then we also see Sylvester talk to Rick about the hourglass and tell him about the limiter, which pretty much it was something that Rick's dad put in, which put in on the hourglass to try to limit the amount of time to 1 hour. So who knows if he actually takes it off, it'll spread to more than 1 hour a day. All right, so the episode just ended, and it was very interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Beth pretty much told her parents to stay out of the way. Um, um, why am I blanking on his name? Rick was pretty much able to fix the hourglass by taking out the limiter. Courtney's still hanging out with Hunter. I'm not. Why am I saying the actors' names? He's hanging out with Cameron, with Cameron's grandparents looking at them, which is honestly not that good. And we see Yolanda find the gambler's computer in Cindy's room, and this next episode is going to be interesting to say the least.